Hello, and welcome back to another reading of the White Album 2 light novel series. We are currently reading through Volume 1, and this is Episode 2. We're picking up at Setsuna's piece. Haruki had just heard Setsuna singing from the rooftop, singing White Album, as he and Kazusa unknowingly played instruments together, and they all three created a beautiful song. So, let's continue. Huh? Startled by the sudden intrusion, Setsuna stopped singing, her eyes wide open. Oh, were you listening just now? She hadn't been thinking when she started singing, but now that she considered it, it was more than possible that someone should hear her. As she started to panic, the intruder, a male student, quickly spoke up. Wait, I'm sorry to barge in on you like this. I'm Haruki Kitahara from Class E. I mean, not that I was doing anything bad, but... Right. I heard singing, so You were listening! I mean, if you're singing that loudly on a rooftop, I don't really think it's his fault that he's listening. I think it's just a weird thing to do. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I really love White Album. And it's the first time anyone has ever started singing along while I was playing the guitar. So while he was playing the guitar? Then you were the one playing just now? Yeah, not very well, but yeah. Oh, but your singing was outstanding, Ogiso. I was really stunned. I've heard plenty of people sing this song, but you were the best by far. I was actually really moved, so I rushed up here to... Ogiso? Look, Setsuna darted her eyes around, unsure of how to respond to such ardent praise. Now hopelessly embarrassed, she made up her mind to get away. Wait! What an awkward situation for both of them. But the boy, apparently having guessed as much, frantically called out to stop her. Listen, Ogiso, would you... sing for our band, maybe? Huh? Sing? For a second, she couldn't process his words. Band? I'm in the light music club, and we're going to play for the school festival concert, but we don't have a vocalist right now. So if you would do that for us, Ogiso, I would be enormously grateful. I think we could put on an incredible show with you. Concert? Show? So, singing in front of people? A lot of people? Now, this is interesting, and this is where I think the novel kind of branches off from the game and gives us some more insight onto what's going on, is because in the game, the only thing that we really get the behind the scenes, the only people's thoughts that we really get to see are Haruki's. But here, we're already getting some insight into what Setsuna was thinking during this time. And that's pretty neat. It's kind of like a behind the scenes. Your voice is so amazing. I know anyone who heard you would get... sorry. Into it. What? Averting her eyes, Setsuna broke into a run, opening the door and dashing down the stairs. She realized he wasn't following her, which must mean he was still just standing there blankly. She knew it was rude to run off in the middle of a conversation, but there was nothing to be done about that now. Her brain was in a jumble. The fact that she'd been unable to restrain herself from singing, the fact that she'd been heard and praised so effusively, and the fact that she knew him. Her head was too full of all of it to consider anything else. So dramatic, such high school drama. He heard me singing, and then she literally runs away. That's so funny. So, we're moving on to session 2, 24 days until the show. We're back on Haruki's piece. The next day. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Might be a bit of a stretch. Great. Well, look, I was about to pull this girl who can play bass from another band. Unfortunately, it turns out her best friend is a girl I messed around with once. Yeah, so she had this picture of me that was totally wrong, or like half wrong. So the transfer's been rejected. God, why do things have to get so complicated? Huh? Haruki, dude, are you listening to me? Huh? This is supposed to be where you go, you brought this on yourself. Are you even awake? When Takeya's puzzled face entered my field of vision, I snapped out of it and shook my head. Oh, sorry. Nothing. They're so funny. They're such good friends, even though they really won't admit it to each other like that at this point. But they know each other so well that Takeya even knows the reaction he's supposed to get, and he can tell something's wrong. I know you're not sleeping enough. You've taken on way too much for our class. Well, what else am I supposed to do? We've got the festival coming up. It was true that I hadn't been able to sleep the night before. It had just been for a different reason. But I was hesitant to tell Takeya about it, to put it lightly. I asked Setsuna Ogiso to sing for us, and she ran away. How was I supposed to say that? When I thought back over it rationally, it seemed obvious that an approach like that would be rejected. Actually, maybe the approach didn't matter. Maybe there was no way Setsuna Ogiso would ever join a band. That was stupid of me. Right. I don't think it's that stupid, but it was definitely abrupt, just running upstairs and being like, oh my God, I heard you singing and I love it. Will you join our band? Like, it's just very abrupt. It's like a fanboy. He came off as a very big fanboy. I know you're the class rep, but you can't take that much responsibility. You know, you could think about taking a little more responsibility in several departments. You gotta ease up a bit, man. This is why you can't get any girls. Class E is full of babes. Just think about it. Look around a little more. Looking around is all you ever do. Incidentally, Takeya was from Class G, though you wouldn't know it from how comfortably he hung around in here. No, I mean it. They're on another level here. Even without any Setsuna Ogisos around, there's still... Oh, right, there's that one. She could definitely match her for looks. Takeya threw a glance at the desk next to mine, the unoccupied seat. And here we go. Here we delve into the second heroine of the game. Guess she's gonna be late today, too. Well, that's fine with me. She always glares daggers at me when I'm here. Scares the hell out of me. All right, Takeya, I'll say it. You brought that on yourself. My habitually late seat neighbor. She was a bit of an odd one. She had been my neighbor for about half a year, since April, but I still could never tell what she was thinking. When Takeya, drawn by her looks, had blithely attempted to make a move on her, she gave him a sudden drop kick in place of an answer. Though, to be totally honest, he kind of deserved that one. Why is she always drop kicking people? Why is that her thing? That's so violent. Anyway, ever since then, Takeya had seemed genuinely afraid of her. It really hurts me that she can't see my appeal. At least there's Setsuna Ogiso. I wouldn't get my hopes up about Ogiso seeing your appeal either. Still, Ogiso's singing yesterday had been astounding. Her rendition of White Album was truly incredible. It would change everything if she sang for us. Not that she would. At that moment, yo, Haruki! I turned in the direction of the voice and found exactly the person I expected striding toward me. Haruki, dude, listen. This is wild. It's... Oh, you're here, Takeya? What, am I not supposed to be Io? Takeya sighed. The new arrival was Io Mizusawa, a short-haired, athletic girl, the former captain of the girls' basketball team, and Takeya's... ... because it's a big ... I love Io so much. She seems to be the most chill, down-to-earth person in the game. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else, but I really do think that. She's just super true to herself and her friends, and I love that. I didn't say you weren't. Just thought you'd have somewhere else to be. Oh, like you have any right to say that to me? Well, I actually have something to talk to Haruki about. I have something to talk to him about, too. Yeah, sure. Probably not anything important, though. Hang on. You were the one who started making accusations about having somewhere else to be. Would you two mind not fighting right in front of me? Takeya's unfortunate other half. Although it's interesting that the book here refers to her as Takeya's other half, because they're definitely not romantically involved. Like, yes, you can tell that they both kind of like each other at this point, but there's nothing beyond that going on here. And they don't clarify that here. Don't make it sound so bad, Haruki. No one's fighting. Io put on a perfectly casual face. I, too, sighed. My meeting Io was, naturally, through Takeya. She had been a dear friend to me since we were introduced in our first year. Granted, she was also a nuisance from time to time. So, you had something to talk to me about? Oh, shoot! Yeah, quit interrupting me, Takeya. I didn't do anything. Io ignored Takeya's reproachful glare and continued. That's so cute. They're so funny. So, Haruki, there's someone here to see you. You can thank me later. Since I just happened to know you, I was able to lead her here. Huh? And since when do you two know each other? Well, whatever. I'll make you tell me all about it later. Shoot, I forgot. Hey, sorry to make you keep standing out there. Over here. Io turned around and beckoned to someone. I didn't mention this before, but Io wasn't from Class E either. Io was from Class 3A, a class apart from mine and Takeya's, and also... good morning, Kitahara-kun. Setsuna Ogiso's class. So now we have another picture here, and this one is featuring Setsuna, and she looks so happy. I love it. She deserves to be happy. And after what happened, I'm actually surprised she's smiling super casually like this. I kind of would have thought she'd be a little more afraid of meeting and talking with Haruki. But here we go. A few words about Setsuna Ogiso. Perfect conduct. Doubly gifted in intelligence and beauty. And, of course, attractively built. Of course. She was the very image of a well-bred, carefully cherished young lady. That, I do not like that phrasing. Well-bred. I hate that. That just makes her sound like an animal, like a horse. Don't call people that. Everyone in our year? No. Just about everyone in the whole school knew who she was. As I mentioned before, she had taken first place in the school festival's unofficial Miss Hojo High contest our first year. And in our second year, she won yet again. She was our school's biggest celebrity, slated for an unprecedented third successive win this year. And, to every male student, she was a flower on an unreachable peak. And it's funny because Haruki talked to her so casually yesterday in story, one day before, and now he's a bit nervous. Now he's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And as this celebrity stood facing me in the hallway, I felt an indescribable awkwardness. As well as open stares piercing me from all around, some of them actually felt physically painful. I just wanted to talk about yesterday, Ogiso said, breaking the silence. I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have just run off like that. Oh, no, I shouldn't have. I wouldn't know what to do if someone suddenly said something like that to me either. I don't blame you for running off. I'm sorry. No, it wasn't. Ogiso cast her eyes down slightly and fell silent again. Was she really that bothered about yesterday? Maybe she had come all this way today just to apologize? In that case, I felt even guiltier. Listen, Ogiso, I was absolutely the one in the wrong yesterday. I would really rather you didn't worry about it too much. Look, maybe this is selfish of me, but I'm happy to forget all about what happened yesterday. So if you would forget how I acted too. Huh? No, Kitahara-kun? Ogiso suddenly raised her face, looking flustered. No? No, that's not what After a few deep breaths, Ogiso seemed to make up her mind about something, quietly cleared her throat, and looked straight at me. Under her gaze, I suddenly felt awkward. I apologize for being forward about this. Kitahara-kun, I have a bit of a favor to ask. Huh? What is it? A part of me started to think, has she decided to join our band after all? But that expectation was subverted in a completely unanticipated way. If you already have plans, I understand, but if you're free, he's gonna get a date. In spite of her embarrassment, Ogiso whispered her request. Oh, I definitely did not whisper that request. Quietly enough that no one else would hear it. Would you go out with me tonight? With the real me? Oh, that's so sweet. And of course, there's a lot of subtle differences in the novel, and a lot of stuff just kind of had to be left out for brevity's sake. Like when going around for the Miss Hojo High, Haruki didn't go and talk to Setsuna and encourage her to drop out if she didn't want to go. They didn't have that prior connection. In the novel, they really just ran into each other on the roof, and that's why it was kind of weird. When I returned to the classroom, Takeya and Io were lying in wait for me, eyes shining. Haruki, when the hell did you start putting the moves on Setsuna Ogiso? Haruki, what was that just now? You look a little blushy. Don't tell me she... Oh, whoops, there's the bell. You two had better get back to class. Haruki! No, are you telling me the whole time you were ripping into me about picking girls for their looks, you've been on the attack with Miss Hojo High? Unbelievable. I'm gonna have a thing or two to say to you later. Look, you're not as well-worn as Takeya, which is great, but Setsuna is way too high for you to aim. I'm not well-worn, Io. I've just got a lot of experience. Well-worn is what we call people with too much experience, I'm pretty sure. I had just told them not to fight here. They're so funny. They're friends. They're friends with crushes. That's all they are at this point. That's not the point. Haruki, start talking. Yeah, Haruki, you asked her out, right? When? Yesterday? So what did Setsuna say when she turned you down? No, I didn't ask her out. I frantically shook my head. I just asked her if she would sing for the Light Music Club. What? Haruki, you actually invited her? Oh, your club or whatever? Right, you mentioned you were having kind of a crisis. That's why she's here. Okay, so hey, what did she say? Could it be we've got Setsuna Ogiso as our new vocalist for the Light Music Club? No. She just said, sorry. Shoulda known. Takeya gave a sigh of resignation. That would be pretty incredible. Could you imagine the big school idol suddenly joining your band? It'd be so popular. You want a singer for your band? Yeah, Setsuna wasn't going to do that. She's not interested in anything like that. I mean, she barely spends any time with other people as it is. She's always heads straight home alone after school. Yeah, Haruki, you said she wouldn't want to do anything in front of that many people. Why the hell did you ask her anyway? Well, Just as I was fumbling over what to say, the bell rang, and the two of them rushed out to return to their own classrooms. Everyone clattered into their chairs. I sighed with a groan. I'd told them that I invited Ogiso to join the band. But right now, there was something bigger at hand. Tonight? I muttered. How else are you supposed to interpret that if a girl's whispering that she wants to meet you tonight? Ogiso's invitation from moments before raced round and round in my head. I really didn't understand what was going on. Setsuna Ogiso, tonight, with me. With me? My brain was so busy with all of that there was no room for actual thought. I barely processed a word during any of my classes following it. In fact, I completely forgot to submit our withdrawal from the festival concert. Well, isn't that convenient? Forgot to withdraw, so now you gotta do it. And though the seat next to me remained unoccupied at the start of first period, hey. Someone suddenly spoke to me during lunch break, and when I turned to look, there she was. Huh? Toma? Standing with her arms crossed, glaring silently at me, my neighbor, Kazusa Toma. There she is. She needs no introduction. The second heroine, which has now been introduced officially. My neighbor was constantly late, when she wasn't skipping altogether. Taciturn at all times, apathetic, unfriendly, but with a face that even Takeya would admit was finely featured. Anyone who looked at her, no matter how mildly, would consider her a beauty. And for all of her beauty, her eyes, when they weren't expressionless, tended to leave a cold impression on whomever they regarded. But for some reason, today, they weren't so much cold as, Toma? I got the sense that she was angry somehow, but maybe I was imagining it. She never so much as responded when I spoke to her, so why had she decided to speak to me today? You're later than usual today. You usually show up in the middle of first period. My attempt at making a normal conversation fell flat, as expected, though I was sure she must have something to talk to me about. Did you sleep in super late or something? Oh, there are bags under your eyes, though. Have you not been sleeping enough? It occurred to me that I wasn't in any position to criticize. What the heck kind of conversation starter is that? Oh, you're super late. Did you sleep in? There are bags under your eyes. Like, you don't criticize people's appearance, and you don't talk about the... Haruki is hopeless. Whose fault do you think that is? Huh? As Toma muttered something inaudible, the look in her eyes seemed to grow even sharper. Sorry, what did you say? In response to my return question, Toma fell silent for a moment before finally replying. Yesterday. Hey, Mr. President, can we talk about the festival budget for a sec? Toma's lips had seemed to be on the cusp of saying something, but after this interjection from another girl, they shut tight. Instead, she glared hard at me, then turned and left the classroom. All I could do was watch her as she left, her long black hair fluttering behind her. I had been so close to witnessing a miracle. What miracle? I mean, I guess her talking to you? I guess that is kind of a miracle. It looks like we might go a bit over, but maybe if we put this request in, we can make it work? Oh, that. Of course, Toma wasn't my only classmate. As I took care of my duties as class representative, the fact that I had made Toma angry weighed on my mind, in spite of me. And when Toma came back later, my attempt to speak to her again was met only with a blunt, "Shut up." Very blunt, very adorable. I had absolutely no idea what to expect. The time was 10:00 p.m. As our meeting place, Ogiso had picked the station front at Minami Suetsugu. The surrounding area was a major leisure quarter. Leisure quarter? That is an interesting expression to use. It's basically just a red light district. It's for drinking and sometimes gambling and just not a really great area. The whole time, there had been a continuous stream of drunken businessmen and noisy groups of lively young people passing by me. How was I supposed to make myself look, standing around in a town that didn't sleep until dawn? Soon enough, Setsuna Ogiso, the Setsuna Ogiso, would be here. And she was the one who invited me. What kind of night was this going to be? Kitahara-kun! Startled as I was to be called so suddenly, I kept a calm facade as I turned. Oh, jeez, he's trying to act cool, turning around calmly. Oh, hey, Ogiso. A light pink dress, a white cardigan, a small necklace sparkling modestly. There stood Ogiso, catching her breath, in an outfit that, though simple, exuded a certain refinement. It was, indeed, perfect for Miss Hojo High. Sorry for being late when I was the one who asked you? Oh, no, it's fine. My curfew at home is pretty strict, so this is the only time I can slip out. Huh? She had snuck out to meet me here? Well, if you're ready, why don't we get going? A million things must be running through his head. That is so funny. Ogiso's face as she mumbled this was slightly turned down, blushing, shy. Get going? Where exactly? And about an hour later, phew. Inside the building she'd brought me to, Ogiso let out an absent-minded, satisfied sigh. Ah, that felt great. I'm thirsty now. She muttered something about overusing her voice, looking a bit shy. As for me, I was sitting down heavily, completely exhausted. Why? Because from the moment we entered this room, we had been at it non-stop. What a weird phrasing. Hey, Kitahara-kun, how was I? Oh, you can be honest. Did I put you off? No, not at all. It was just my first time doing something like this with a girl who sang so much. From Minami Suetsugu Station, 3 minutes on foot, 5th floor of the Daimachi building. Mayflower Karaoke House, room 15. Ogiso, having sung her heart out for 10 straight songs, was finally taking a small rest. As I tried to figure out what to say, all I could do was laugh. Oh, I'll order some drinks. What do you want, Kitahara-kun? No, I'm fine. That wording is so on purpose and so silly. Oh my gosh. Of course they have to make it sound like an innuendo when they're just singing karaoke. I was already full, in a different sense. In stark contrast to me, Ogiso's voice as she ordered her oolong tea sounded oddly excited. Even when she joined me on the sofa, her expression was shining with energy. All right, since I've just been singing new songs, maybe I'll go with the classic next. Evidently, she actually had no need or desire for a break. Seriously? You look weirded out, Kitahara-kun. No, I'm a bit. It never would have remotely occurred to me that Setsuna Ogiso, Miss Hojo High herself, would be such a karaoke freak. You probably think I'm weird, but I come here once a week to do karaoke by myself. It's half price after 9 o'clock. I don't think that's weird at all, especially in Japan. It might sound weird out of context, but single-person karaoke is actually pretty popular here. There are often a lot of coupons or discounts you can get if you go to the karaoke by yourself. So yeah, in this case, it's really not that odd. Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess you wouldn't be able to find many friends who would come out with you at this hour. Oh, no, it's not that. I like doing karaoke on my own. Huh? Really? Well, if I had someone with me, that would cut into my singing time, right? And I can't handle that. I get antsy and irritated. Irritated? And people would start booing me off after I sang 5 songs in a row. Alone is best for me. 5 songs. Huh. It would take her 5 songs to get the hint. It is super rude. common sense and common etiquette when you're out with karaoke and friends. You pick one song, you pass the remote so someone else can pick a song. They pick a song, pass the remote. You never pick more than one unless everybody else can't make up their minds, in which case you would ask. You were just thinking about how I can't take a hint, weren't you, Kitahara-kun? I can see it on your face. What? Sorry, I just... It's okay. I already know. But Ogiso's face took on a slightly more serious cast. So before we do get into why Ogiso dragged us out to this karaoke so late at night, such a weird situation, we're going to stop there for today. So thank you so much for joining me on this reading of the White Album 2 Light Novel Volume 1, and I'll be back to you soon with the next part. Until then, hope you take care. See you.